UFC is back, finally. 1 week off. It felt like 5 years. We haven't had a week off this year. And God, do we fucking need the UFC every week, whether it is a Goislop Apex card or not. We have to have the UFC every week. We are back this week, though. We have UFC Macau, a UK time card. A bit too early, actually. Not to complain. I know the Americans are crying because they finally have to stay up all night for once. But again, a UK time, 10 a.m. start time. Song versus Figgy in Macau, China. And it's not the best card. Song Yadong versus Figgy. Zhang Mingyang versus Menafield. Pavlovich versus Teixeira. I've already made a video on that, talking how shit that is. Asakura Smotherman, Matthews Harris, Perez Sumaderj, a couple of Dana White Contender Series guys. It's just a layup for the Asian fighters, really, this card. But let's get into it in this video. I'm going to go through my full card predictions, starting off with Loma Lookboon versus Jacqueline Amarim. And I'm going with Jacqueline Amarim to win by decision. I think she's a better grappler than Loma Lookboon. She's the bigger fighter, 5'3" versus 5'1". 5'1". Obviously, Loma Lookboon would beat me up, but she's very small for this division. Very small woman, but she has got some nasty striking. A Muay Thai specialist, trains in Thailand. A good striker, but I think the physicality, the size, the grappling offense from Jacqueline Amarin will be too much for Loma Lookboon. I mean, both these women are very good. This is actually a decent fight. Very low down on the card for some reason. But I like the train. I like the gym Jacqueline Amarin trains ATT, the best WMMA gym in the world. You've got Kayla Harrison, Dakota DeCheva, Bia Mesquita, Michelle Montague, Amanda Nunes used to be there. It's by far the best WMMA gym. That doesn't necessarily mean that Jacqueline Aaron is good, but she's training with good comp, great grappler herself, training with the best grapplers in the world in MMA. Both these women on hot streaks before their last fight where they lost. Luma Lookboon lost to Inoue, I want to say. Is it Inoue? No, she lost to... No, Jacqueline Amarim lost to Inoue. Loma Lookboon lost to Tainara, Molly McCann. She retired Molly McCann. But these are solid WMMA fighters. I just think Amarim's a better grappler. Lookboon will have the striking advantage, but I think Jacqueline Amarim will be able to get Lookboon down, hold her there, and see out the rounds. Probably win a 29-28, mixing the grappling. Luma Lookboon might have a good last round. I'm not going to be able to watch the fight because I'm in the UK. They don't let us watch the early prelim, but I'm going with Jacqueline Amarim by decision, maybe even submission, but I think Loma Lookboon is too defensively sound. I'm a bit worried though. 50-50 pick. It's just, if Amarim can't get the takedown, she's going to lose. If Amarim can get the takedown, she's going to win. But I'm going with Amarim by decision, mixing in the takedowns. And yeah, a decent fight to start off the card. Next fight is Zhu Kangji versus Rodrigo Vera. Rodrigo Vera does not look like that. He is 21-1 from Peru. This is a short notice fight. Ramon Tavares pulled out like 2 weeks ago, so it's not like he's been called up on a week's notice. He's had a decent bit of notice, but still short notice. Flying all the way to China is not ideal, but this is a very solid fight. Both guys are pretty even, I'd say, pretty similar. High intensity, high output. One of for wild exchanges in the pocket. And I do think Rodrigo Vera will get the better of Zhu Kangji. I think both guys, no, it could go either way. I think this is going to a decision. I'm going to lean Rodrigo Vera. I think he'll mix in the grappling. I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about either of these guys. I've watched some of their tape. Zhu Kangji can be like backed up against the cage and taken down. Rodrigo Vera likes to push guys up against the cage, take him down. But both guys are wild in the pocket, could brawl, could get a KO at any time. But I'm going to go with Rodrigo Vera. I like the record, 21-1. He also has a win over Juan Diaz, the guy that just beat Cameron Wellmaker. Is it Cameron Wellmaker? Malcolm Wellmaker. I always get that mixed up. Yeah, I think both guys are solid. Rodrigo Vera is meant to be on tough, so he's a guy that UFC have had their eye on for a while. Solid record outside of the UFC. I mean, both guys, not gonna lie, they're kind of they've got not the most finishes, beat some decent comp. They are kind of can crushers in the past. Zhu Kangji's beating guys that are like 1-4, 9-7, 14-10. He lost to a guy. But Rodrigo Vera is kind of similar. They're both solid, but I'm going to go with Rodrigo Vera by decision. Another 50-50 fight. Both guys want to get into the pocket, throw wild stuff, but I think Rodrigo Vera will mix in the takedowns and get his way to a decision win. Next fight, we've got Angela Hill versus Zhong. It's a bit of a tough name to say. Zhong Jingnan. But this is a close fight, a good fight. Angela Hill was like the Neil Magny of the WMMA. She's a crafty vet, and you've got to be something decent to beat Angela Hill. She's very solid everywhere, very well rounded, good grappler, good striker, but she just doesn't have the pop. No pop, mid grappling, and if you're a good fighter, you're going to beat an Angela Hill. She's never been knocked out. She's very durable. That's probably her best strength. Is her durability. She's tough. She's not going to give up. She's always going to be in the pocket with you. But I do not think she's skilled enough or a good enough grappler to beat Zhong Jingyang. I'm just going to call her Jingyang. What difficult name, Zhong Jingyang. I think Zhong Jingyang is a better striker than Angela Hill, former ONE FC champ, multiple time champ there. But I want to say she's a bit old. They're both pretty old, very old. So this is like a pit bull signing where they're getting the later years of Zhong Jing. The prime is gone, but I do think she's still got enough tricks in the book to beat Angela Hill, and I think she gets it done by decision. Angela Hill's never been knocked out, but you know she's only getting older. The chin could get worse, but I think Zhong Jing's a much better striker. She'll be able to defend the grappling of Angela Hill. I think she'll get a couple of takedowns, but I don't think she'll submit her or anything like that. But Angela Hill's durable enough to survive to a decision. I think Zhong Jing's faster in the pocket, higher output, and I think she'll win a decision against Angela Hill. Angela Hill has a history of just going to split decisions, close decisions, where she could have won, but she didn't do enough. She's kind of like Sean Strickland a bit, where he doesn't always do enough to get the nod. But I think Zhong Yang gets it done in the hometown, in the home country, on her debut. I don't think she's going to win a belt or anything. She's a good fighter, but they're getting her in the later years, like a pitbull type signing. But she's going to get past Angela Hill and win a decision. Not a KO because Angela Hill is durable. However, if Angela Hill can mix in the grappling, she could get a sub, but I don't think she's a good enough grappler. I could be wrong though, but I'm going with Zhong Yang by decision. And yes, I have picked every fight to be a decision so far. What do you expect this UFC in 2026? Moving on to a short notice fight. This time in the bantamweight division. Obviously, these are flyweights, but it's on short notice. Ray Saruya, the return of Ray Saruya versus Luis Garul. Garul taking this on about a week's notice. Just beat up Barez, 30-27. Easy fight for him. Now he's flying all the way over to China on short notice, probably to save his contract. He's probably going to get cut to fight Ray Saruya, and I don't think this is going to go well for him at all. Ray Saruya is going to submit Luis Garo. He's an incredible grappler. Only lost to Joshua Van, and Joshua Van's the fucking champ. Ray Saruya's grappling is very good. Got Olympic accolades, I want to say, or like the equivalent to American collegiate accolades. Very good grappler, very good wrestler, and I think he's going to get Garul down and submit him in the first, in the second. Rear naked choke. I think he's going to take the back, submit Garul. Garul's okay on the feet. I think he's probably a better striker than Ray Saruya. We need to see major improvements in Ray Saruya's striking before he fights the top guy, because he's got all the grappling accolades, but you couldn't get Joshua Van down, and Joshua Van pieced him up on the feet. Saruya had nothing for him on the feet. The only reason I'm confident in Saruya is because of his pace, of his pressure. He's took a lot of time off as well since the Joshua Van fight. His pace is incredible. He's like Merab Dvalishvili. He will shoot like 30 takedowns on you if he can't get you down. That's not good because you want to see him get the takedowns, but he's got the pace, he's got the cardio to do that for 3 straight rounds. Took a lot of damage off of Joshua Van. I think he'll be able to take Garul's shots. I'm worried though if he can't get him down, that Garul could back him up and knock him out. But we've seen Garul get out grappled before on the Contender Series against Nick Piccini. He took his back. Jesus Aguilar, the guy he's meant to fight, got him down 4 times. He defended all of Barez's takedowns, but Barez is dog shit. And before that, got outstruck by Correa. But Correa's a good prospect as well. But I'm going to go with Ray Surya by submission. He's going to take Garul down, take the back, submit him. I'm worried though if he can't get the takedowns. If he can't get the takedowns, then Garul will win a decision, outstrike him. But you know, the striking could have improved with Surya. I hope he doesn't go out there trying to prove a point and outstrike Garul. Just take him down, take the back, and get the win. I really like Ray Surya. I'm a big fan. That's not why I'm picking him. He's just a better grappler than Garul, and I think he'll get him down, take the back, and get a submission win. Round 2, round 3, round 1, who knows? But I think he'll get the submission over Garul. Next up, we have got Ayori Cheleng versus Cody Haddon in the bantamweight division. And I'm going to go with Cody Haddon. He's a big favourite. I'm not too confident because Ayori Cheleng, he's a wild guy, crafty guy. He's got a bit of power. But I think Cody Haddon is the more defensively sound than Ayori Cheleng. Just look at the aim as a Harvey fight from Ayori Cheleng. He just crashes into the pocket, chin in the air. Not defensively sound at all. I think Cody Haddon's the smarter guy. Obviously, he's not been in the cage for a while, since 2024, I'm pretty sure. Had fights booked with Alexander Topuria, Cameron. I've done it again. Is that his name? Cameron? I can't fucking. I always mix up his name. Wellmaker. So, you know, he could have been fraud checked. He could have been the fucking biggest prospect in the UFC by now. But he's pulled out, injury problems. But I think he gets it done against Ayori Cheleng. Decision, I don't think he's got enough power. You know, he's too defensively sound. He's not going to rush Ayori Cheleng. He doesn't want to get caught in the pocket. I'm going to lean Cody Haddon by decision. He gets it done. I'm a bit worried though. He's not done it. Like, he's had one UFC fight against Dan Argueta, not the best. Took him to a decision. I don't. Like, he's got good grappling. I think he's more defensively sound than offensively. I think if Ayori Cheleng shoots on him, he'll be able to defend it. He could get his own takedowns here. I'm going to go with Cody Haddon by decision. Not awfully high on the Cody Haddon hype train yet, as he's not proved it. But I think he beats guys like Ayori Cheleng. Ayori Cheleng, we've seen him go out there against Eamon Zahavi, get knocked out straight away. You know, he has got power. You know, knocked out Cody Gibson, but Cody Gibson in the big 26, 25, whenever he fucking did it. Are we being serious? Cody Gibson is dog shit. Cody Haddon's defensively sound. He's going to win a decision. I like the volume. I like the defensiveness. He's a smarter fighter. I think he gets it done by decision against Ayori Cheleng. Next fight is in the welterweight division. It is 2 debuts of Ding Meng taking on Jose Souza. I'm going with Ding Meng by KO against Jose Sosa. I don't know an awful lot about these guys. I've seen some of their highlights. Both guys like to swing wild in the pocket. However, I'm going with Ding Meng because he's higher output, seems to hit harder, and I like the experience of Ding Meng. 35-9 at 31 years of age versus an 8-1 guy who's 24, not fought the best comp, hasn't fought since 2024. Jose Sosa's not fought since 2024. Was meant to be in the UFC, had visa issues. He got booked against Eric Nolan, Vakretnov, and Rak. He had to pull out of all three of them because he couldn't get the visa sorted. But he's inactive. I don't really rate him that highly. I think he's pretty mid in the pocket. I think Ding Meng's faster, higher output. I think he's going to get the KO in the hometown. That's obviously not why he's going to win because he's from China. But, you know, the home advantage is the Chinese crowd love to back their Chinese, you know, not like the UK where, you know, the atmosphere is dead too, you know. But I'm going Ding Meng by KO. I do like the resume. However, he has fought in the Contender Series before, lost, then had one fight and some that weird promotion, got a KO and got signed. So a bit weird. So if he wasn't Chinese, he probably wouldn't be in the UFC. But you know, they like to do that just so they have a certain amount of fighters on the roster to justify going to the country. But I think he is gonna what's the word? Value the support and the signing. I think he's gonna KO Jose Sosa. I don't really rate Jose Sosa. But it's a guaranteed KO. Both guys fight a wild car crash, going to exchange in the pocket. Jose Sosa could land a blow to knock Ding Meng out, but I think Ding Meng will land on Jose Sosa's chin and knock him out. Not too confident, as I don't know an awful lot about these guys, but I like Ding Meng's chances here against Jose Sosa. Next fight is in the middleweight division, and it's another two debutants. And honestly, now that I'm going through this card, it's just dog shit. This is Apex slop. Why is this in a crowded arena? It's just because they're all Asian. This is Asian slop, not an Apex slop. This is Asian slop. But we have Yisak Lee from South Korea taking on Luis Felipe Diaz, a Brazilian, both making their debuts. Both guys are very shit. I'm not gonna lie. These aren't UFC level. They get finishes. They're decent grapplers. They're getting grappling finishes. You know, Luis Felipe Diaz got a rear naked choke win on the Dana White Contender Series against a guy that was 6-0, so a decent win. Before that, hadn't fought since 2023 against beat a guy that's 2-0. I don't know. Am I a freaking casual man? I don't understand. Yisak Lee, 26. A can crusher. Didn't even win in the Contender Series in the regional scene in Asia. Beat a guy that's 5-2, 2-3, 12-9. No, he lost to a guy that's 12-9 and beat a guy that's 1-2. He's a can crusher, 26. I don't know a thing about either of these guys. I don't give a shit really. Like, what is this fight? Why is he in the UFC? He's not even Chinese. He's South Korean. I understand Diaz. He's one of the contenders. I'm going with Diaz by submission. He got a decent win. He's fought better comp. Yeah, he's older. He fought better comp on the come up as well. Yisak Lee could be okay, but he's young. Both guys striking shit. They're going to look to take it to the ground. Could go either way, but I'm going to go with Luis Felipe Diaz by submission. And this card is slop. Like, what the fuck? Ding Meng Jose Sosa, followed by Yisak Lee versus Luis Felipe Diaz. You know, we're just getting the Chinese guy slop, the Asian guy slop. Awful card so far. On now to the main card, where we have a decent scrap finally. The flyweight division, Alex Perez versus Suma Derj. If you're wondering about the top, I spilled some pasta on my top, so, you know, ignore that. Anyway, Alex Perez is going to knock out Suma Derj. He is the most underrated flyweight in the division. I am a bit worried, though. Suma Derj is bigger than him by 2 inches in height. Got a big reach advantage, but I don't think that matters. Perez is the better fighter, better boxer. This fight will probably be on the feet. Neither guys are good in the grappling department. Both guys have been subbed a lot of times. And honestly, I think Sumadurj is okay. He's UFC level, on a bit of a resurgence since losing to Charles Johnson. He's beaten Mitch Raposo. Who else has he been? Jesus Aguilar last time. Kevin Borjas. So he's UFC level, but he's not beating a guy like Alex Perez. Alex Perez is the most underrated flyweight. Just knocked out Charles Johnson. And I swear they hate him so much, you know. Knocks out Charles Johnson, gets rewarded with Suma Derj. Charles Johnson goes out there, gets knocked out by Alex Perez, robs Bruno Silva. Now he's fighting Asu Almabayev. Alex Perez was beating Almabayev for a round and a half until he got caught in a guillotine. Awful matchmaking. The UFC obviously have their favourites, but I still think Alex Perez is going to beat Suma Derj. It's a weird matchup because Suma Derj isn't ranked. Alex Perez is like number 8. They just want to get him out of the rankings, but why would you feed him to Suma Derj? If you want to get rid of him out of the rankings, feed him to a real prospect like an Emmanuel Rodriguez, Ray Saruyu even. That would be a big jump up, but it's a winnable fight for him, the grappling to him. But I don't get it. They clearly don't like Alex Perez, and I can understand it because he's never going to touch the belt. He's never going to beat no one good in the division. That is because he's grappling his shit, but on the feet he's very good, underrated, and I think he's going to knock out Suma Derj. Maybe not, but I think he for sure wins it if it's by decision. You know, the height advantage. for Sumidosh may make him difficult to hit. But I think Alex Perez is the better boxer. If Sumidosh can keep him at range, hold him up against the cage, something like that. But I think Alex Perez is the better fighter, better boxer, and he's going to win by knockout against Sumidosh. Moving on, in the welterweight division, we have Jake, the Celtic Kid Matthews versus Carlston Harris. This is a short notice replacement as Jake Matthews is meant to fight Muslim Salikov. He pulled out due to injury. Now Carlston Harris is stepping in. I'm pretty sure he was booked with Michael Chiesa, but he pulled out. Anyway, this is a complete layup for Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is going to knock out Carlston Harris because they are different levels. Jake Matthews may never touch the belt or the rankings, but he's for sure solid caliber outside the rankings of the welterweight division. Whereas Carlston Harris is 38 years of age, just probably running out his contract, trying to get out of the UFC, on the edge of retirement. He's probably going to get cut if he loses, which I think he will do. I think Matthews is going to knock him out. Carlston Harris is not good. Coming off of 2 KO losses, a long time off. Got knocked out by Chaos Williams in 2024, sat out for the rest of the year, come back in January 2025, got knocked out by Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio in the big 26 or 25 even. Matthews is going to knock him out or just piece him up on the feet and win a decision. The only way you're going to beat Jake Matthews is, well, for a guy like this at low level, is by grappling him, like taking him down. You've seen Neil Magny do it last time out, but Matthews is pretty crafty himself. Could even get a submission over Carlston Harris. See him get a round 1 submission over Chidi and Jaquani. He's a solid guy, but I think this is a complete layup mismatch. I know it's a short notice replacement, but Matthews, if he is serious about his career still, should be knocking Carlston Harris out, submitting him early, and getting back in the win column. Had a big fight, big chance to resurge himself, get back in the rankings, on the verge of the rankings against Neil Magny. And he failed the Neil Magny test. And if you failed the Neil Magny test, then yeah, not looking good. We've seen Amosov do that, just destroy him. Prates, guys like that. Yeah. I'm going with Jake Matthews by knockout, domination, whatever. Jake Matthews is going to beat Carlston Harris. Next up is another weird fight. Kaya Sakura versus Cameron Smotherman. And on paper, it would be a Kaya Sakura domination, easy performance. He's a former Rising champ, just had fights with Pantoja. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I do think he's going to win. He's a better striker than Cameron Smotherman. To beat Kaya Sakura, for me to pick against Kaya Sakura, you have to be an elite striker or a solid grappler, and Cameron Smotherman's neither. Asakura is a good striker. We've seen him at Rizin. He's got some nasty knees, nearly knocked out Pantoja with a flying knee. Nasty knees to the body. I know in Rizin they have different rule set with the soccer kicks. Soccer, I'm English. How have I just said the word soccer? Fuck Americans. It's football. Soccer kicks to the head. You can't do that in the UFC. But I think he's faster on Smotherman on the feet. He's going to piece him up. Maybe get a late TKO, but I think he wins a decision here against Cameron Smotherman. Confidence is low, momentum is low, just got subbed by Tim Elliott, which isn't a bad loss. He's a crafty grappler, but if you're any decent in that flyweight division, you're beating a Tim Elliott. The weight cut was bad for him, though. Cut a lot of weight to make flyweight. Now he's in his natural weight class. He's still cutting a lot of weight. In a better weight class for him in the flyweight and bantamweight division. He is a bit undersized. Smotherman is a big bantamweight, lanky, not like built like Ricky Simone type bantamweight. Weird reference. A long guy for the division, not like O'Malley. Kind of like O'Malley if he was shit and black. Yeah. I don't think Smotherman's all that. He's best. He got a short notice win against Jake Hadley. He got dominated on the feet by Sergey Sidi. And Asakura is a better striker than Sergey Sidi. And got smudged by Ricky Simone last time out. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to pick Kaya Sakura by decision. If Smotherman can mix in the grappling, I know he trains with Diego Lopez. I think he trains with Austin Bashi. If he's improved his grappling majorly, he should be looking to take down Kaya Sakura. But I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down. You've got to be a good grappler to beat Asakura. Asakura, he's not championship level, but he's ranked level in the bantamweight division. I think I could see him having some success in the bantamweight division. He needs to build himself back up. He is 32, so he's getting on, but he needs to get back in the win column here, beat Cameron Smotherman. Otherwise, he's probably going to get cut. He's going to get that patchy mix treatment. He got the big opportunity to fight Pantoja. Weird as fuck. Why did they ever do that? I know the division was dead at the time, but then he got subbed by Asakura. Asakura subbed Asakura, yeah. Subbed by Tim Elliott. Big upset, and I don't think he gets the third loss in a row. I think he beats Cameron Smotherman by decision. Moving on to the feature fight of the card, and if you've seen my other video, this is a dog shit fight. And it's just a massive gamble. What is the win here for Sergey Pavlovich taking on Talas Teixeira? Obviously, I'm picking Sergey Pavlovich and knock Talas Teixeira out. If you're going to beat Sergey Pavlovich, you've got to be an elite striker, a big guy for the division. And Teixeira is, but he's not an elite striker. You've got to be a Volkov. You've got to be an Aspinall to crash in, knock him out in the exchanges. Teixeira's not that guy. He's not got the craftiness. He's not got the jab to pick him off at range. And I can see Pavlovich backing Teixeira up early, like Derek Lewis did, knocking him out with a nasty overhand over the top, sitting him down and tell Teixeira, why does he deserve this? I know in hindsight it makes sense. It's a layout for Pavlovich. The division's dead, but why haven't they made Golan Pavlovich and just waited for Pereira Espinal? Stuff like that. Weird matchup, but I think it's a massive gamble because if Pavlovich loses, how fucking cooked is this division? If Pavlovich loses, it's like RDR versus Allen in the heavyweight division. If Pavlovich loses, Talison Teixeira will be a top 5 heavyweight. I mean, we've seen him training with Pereira, Teixeira. He's got an okay grappling game. We saw him dominate Tai Tuivasa. No, he didn't. He didn't. Louis Sutherland had a better performance versus Tai Tuivasa. If we're talking sense here, Louis Sutherland deserves this fight more than Sergey Pavlovich. He dominated Tai Tuivasa. Teixeira went to war with him. Awful matchup. If this is anything other than a Pavlovich knockout, it's embarrassing. Teixeira is not good. Derek Lewis knocked him out in 30 seconds, and Derek Lewis is dog shit. MMA math doesn't work, I know that, but Pavlovich has got to be knocking him out earlier. But Teixeira could get him down. We don't really know how good his grappling game is. He's not had a chance to prove it. But the fact he couldn't hold Tai Tuivasa down or sub Tai Tuivasa fills me with confidence for Sergey Pavlovich that he's going to knock him out, or at worst, win a dominant decision. Yeah. Give me Sergey Pavlovich to destroy Talison Teixeira. Otherwise, I lose hope for this fucking sport. How good is Tom Aspinall? Ruined that man's career. Everyone's forgetting about Tom Aspinall. He will be back. Yeah. Give me Sergey Pavlovich to destroy Talison Teixeira. On to the co-main event, and dare I say, this is another layup for a Chinese guy. Where's the favoritism for every other country? Why do the Chinese get it? The Asians, the Russians get it. Where's the English guys getting the layups? Pimlet's being, and that's harsh because Pimlet got built up. But anyway, Ming Yang versus Menefield. I'm going with Zhang Mingyang to knock out Alonso Menefield in the first round. I don't particularly rate Zhang Mingyang. His game is not that good. We saw Julius Walker, Johnny Walker expose him. I didn't know the man could check a leg kick. He's bigger than Menefield though. Menefield, he's not good. He's got a crafty guillotine. He's not a good grappler. You've got to beat Ming Yang. You're going to have to out-grapple him. Or be a serious KO as yourself, and Alonso Menefield is neither. He's a crafty guy. He's gritty, but he's not got power against good comp. He's knocking out guys that are shit. He's not going to knock out Ming Yang. I mean, he could do if Ming Yang fights like a retard, goes wild in the pocket. He could catch him. It's heavy guys, but Ming Yang's bigger, should stay at range, crash in. He's kind of like a Teba Gautier in this division. He's been given layup after layup. Ozzy Diaz, Anthony Smith to get in the rankings. Brendan Ribeiro, Tokos. He's not really fought anyone good. Then got Johnny Walker on a calm down. Massive layup on paper because Johnny Walker's chinny. Ming Yang's knocking out everyone. And gets fraud check. Couldn't check a leg kick. Got took down by Johnny Walker. Embarrassing performance. And they're rewarding him with another layup. He's in China. Obviously not going to feed him to the wolves. They want Ming Yang to win. But if Ming Yang is as good as he's being penned out to be, he has to knock out Alonso Menefield in the first round. Volkan Oezdemir just knocked him out. The guys that Menefield have beaten aren't good. Umar Sy, boring decision win. Julius Walker, the most embarrassing performance I've ever seen in my life. On short notice, who's a bottom of the barrel light heavyweight at best. Took Menefield to a crafty split decision where he arguably won. So, if Zhang Mingyang's any good, he's knocking out Alonso Menefield. Like, Menefield's getting knocked out by guys that are good in this division. Azamat Murzakanov, OSP, Allberg, Oezdemir, as I just mentioned. If Ming Yang is as good as he's being painted out to be, he has to join that club and knock out Alonso Menefield, and I think he will do it in the first round. Menefield, coming off of a round 1 KO loss, is probably going to be hesitant, which favours Ming Yang, as he's going to be cautious, backing up Ming Yang, press him up against the cage. I think he's going to knock him out the first round. Nasty overhand over the top, put him down, ground and pound, see the fight out. I think he's going to get back in the win column. I don't think he's nothing special in this division, but I do believe he beats the Alonso Menefield of the light heavyweight division, and I think that'll put him in the rankings. Because is Menefield ranked on? We can check, can't we, if I click out of it? He is. That will put Ming Yang back in the rankings. He's not a huge favourite, but I think he gets it done against Alonso Menefield. I don't rate Alonso Menefield nor Ming Yang, but I think he's better on the feet than Menefield. Give me Zhang Ming Yang by KO. Moving on to the main event of the evening, or the afternoon for the British fans. Finally, that sounds nice to say. Song Yadong versus Davison Figueiredo. I can't see nothing here but a Song Yadong victory. If you're picking Figueiredo, I would love to know how, because Figueiredo's not a better boxer than Song Yadong. Grappling wise, nowadays, is he better? That's probably Figueiredo's only way to win this fight. I'm going with Song Yadong by TKO round 2, 3. I think Figueiredo's got a round in him. But he's only getting older. 5 rounds does not do him the good here. 3-round fight. This is his best chance of beating anybody decent. And the main reason is Song Yadong is faster than Figueiredo on the feet. Mixes in the grappling when needed. I don't think he's going to do that against Figueiredo. Want to keep it on the feet. And I see this fight going exactly as the Henry Cejudo fight, minus the eye pokes, hopefully. Fuck eye pokes. Yeah. But I don't think Figueiredo is competitive anymore with the top guys. Now we see that, I don't know, this is a layoff. What is this card? It's so shit. It's just layups for the Asians. Obviously, that's what they always do when they go to these countries. But yeah, it'd be a real upset if Figueiredo got a win, and it'd fuck up the division because Song Yadong has been there or thereabouts for years, you know. He's been competitive with the best guys in the division, you know, Sandhagen, Marab. He's never fought Marab. That's why people wanted him to get the title fight. But anyway, Sandhagen, um, O'Malley last time out. Who was it? Piotr Jan. He's been competitive with the guys at the top of the division, whereas Figueiredo's going out there getting destroyed. You know, he got 49 46. That doesn't sound as good as 50 45. By Piotr Jan, had a good second round, or round 4, I can't remember. The Sandhagen fight was embarrassing. Sat there pulling leg locks. Just, I think he tore his ACL or something. So he's only getting older, more injuries. Yeah, Song Yadong was competitive with O'Malley. There was an argument for Yadong to win, but you know O'Malley landed the shot, more shots, did do nothing with the takedowns. But Song Yadong was able to get O'Malley down, have O'Malley worried on the feet, and that's why I don't think Song Yadong beats the elite guys because he doesn't set up the strikes well, and his grappling's not high enough level to take them down. But that doesn't matter. He's fighting Davidson Figueiredo, and he's more than good enough to beat Figueiredo. He's faster than him on the feet. I can see him landing a two-piece combo. What's that like? Masvidal landing some combinations of Figueiredo, you know, jab, hook, uppercut, backhand, roll. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. I'm picking Song Yadong to TKO Figueiredo in the third round. Figueiredo's not durable enough. He's going to sit him down, ground and pound. Referee will probably stop it early as this is in China. They want Song Yadong to win. Yeah, it's not going to take much for him to win because, you know, the only way I see Figgy winning is a crafty, like, back take off of some cliff. Song Yadong throws some, like, weird spinning shit, but that's not really in his game. Yeah. Song Yadong's probably going to come out fast though, looking for that early curve. But is a win over Figueiredo valuable these days? You know, Umar's beat him boringly. Jan's beat him. And that's it. To be fair, that's only it. Who else has beaten Figueiredo? Sandhagen's beat him, yeah. Not the best win. And to be honest, this matchup shouldn't have been made. This has fucked up the division. You know, we should have had Peyton Talbot versus Batista. Sandhagen versus O'Malley. Figgy versus I don't know. The division's in a weird place. We've got Marab and Yan just waiting to happen. Umar's locked out of the title picture. O'Malley's there. These guys are here. We've got a couple of Bautistas on the rise. David Martinez, you know, Chito Vera still sitting there. Yeah, I'm going with Song Yadong to beat Davidson Figueiredo in the main event of UFC Macau. Easy win, layout for the Chinese guy. Just like the rest of this card, some awful matchmaking on this card. Ming Yang Manifield coming off of a loss, should have fought an unranked guy in my opinion. Earn your ranked shot. Layout for Yadong, layout for Pavlovich, layout for Asakura, layout for Matthews. I don't want to say layout for Perez, but it's an easy winnable fight for Perez. Should be a bigger favourite than that. Cans, no one knows about. Cans, no one knows about. Bottom of the barrel guy, decent prospect, good prospect. So this card is pretty shit. But it's better than having no UFC. So yeah, they are my picks for UFC Macau. Do you guys agree? Let me know what you think. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. Yeah, thank you for watching and goodbye.